This series is such a feast for the eyes.
Oh,
Thank you for saying
I
so.
love that.
How did you ensure that the series remained true to Tolkien's style?
Great question.
Lovely question.
Yeah.
So JD, my co-writer, and I, from the very beginning of this process, the rule was go back to the books, go back to the books, go back to the books. And sometimes that's going for specific information, right? What color armor people wear in this part of the world? What were hobbits or a version of hobbits doing at this time in the world? But it's also about really trying to absorb into every cell of your body what is important to Tolkien. What are his themes? What were the messages that he was fascinated by? What are the emotional registers that his storytelling plays in? And then hopefully try to honor that. And if people feel like in some fashion or sometimes we succeeded, that would really mean the world to us.
Yeah, and it's so great to hear you say that specifically about beauty, because beauty is such a big part of Tolkien. And we were lucky to work with a group of amazing Tolkien experts.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Finally, the last episode. And of course, they called us evil. Well, I should say they called us patently evil for not liking their awful show. Keep attacking the fans, because that never ends well. The Rings of Power Season 2 will be more canonical, says the showrunners. Hold on, let's fix this. I don't want to see that Lord of the Rings name on this anymore. There we go. That's better. Now, more canonical with what? You gave Galadriel one brother instead of 3. You made her husband dead. We have no idea if she has a daughter. You brought wizards into the Second Age. And there's so much more. Like, there is nothing you can do that will fix this. Here's a meme of what your show is going to look like when it comes out for Season 2 in 2 to 3 years. Like, nobody's going to care about your show. In order to save this, you would have to do a complete reboot of the entire first season with entirely new people. I mean, new people across the board. But you're not. You're keeping the same showrunners, the same writers, the same actors, same actresses. This cannot be saved. Anyway, let's get into the final episode. The episode opens up with fake Gandalf thinking he sees the little Brandyfoot. Instead, it's Feminem and her crew who thinks he's Sauron, because they're a group of Sauron cultists. They also love to show off their legs a lot. Remember last episode when Halbrand was mortally wounded? Well, they've been riding for 6 days, and they finally reach an elven city.
Way of doing more with less.
Somehow Master Smith, wavy hair, doesn't know what to do with very little mithril. You don't need a lot of it to heal. I swear, these writers. And the elves are healing Sauron. They're gonna feel dumb very soon.
How is it you are here?
How is it you are here?
Now we go to Sauron, fully healed, and of course he has an affinity for forges, because Halbrand is Sauron.
I've never seen anything like them. What do you plan to use them for?
To make some rangs. Back in Numenor, the king mistakes Isildur's made-up sister as someone else, as his daughter, and spills the secret. The secret is half the Numenorians want immortality. It is the faithful and the unfaithful. Finally, the manager shows up and says, "You're out of time, ladies and gents."
We are on the cusp of crafting a new kind of power. Not of the flesh, but over flesh.
Thank you for saving me, Galadriel, and never bother looking into who I was. We also find out about that stupid constellation. The Hartfoots try to save not Gandalf. They get into a battle. He says this cringy line, "I'm good." Oh, look at that! Female Nazguls. Oh, and Attack the Fans Leonard Henry dies. Amazon wants to ship both of these as a couple. The king dies, and the mithril blows up. Galadriel learns that Halbrand is not the king of the Southlands because there hasn't been a king in 1,000 years, and she confronts him. Who really are you? It's the line that confirms he's Sauron, which we already knew.
I have been awake since before the breaking of the first silence. In that time, I have had many names.
Sauron disguises himself as Galadriel's brother in some sort of weird incest.
I would make you a queen, fair as the sea and the sun, stronger than the foundations of the earth.
So his plan to deceive her doesn't work, and then they get into like a yelling match with each other. And this goes on for quite a little bit. Pretty boring. I'm happy that I'm getting towards the end of this thing finally. Elrond pulls her out of the dream world and back into reality. Let's forge some rings.
We must make 3. One will always corrupt. 2 will divide.
But with 3, there is balance.
Female Frodo leaves with fake Gandalf. Now let's forge some rings.
You can wear a ring around your finger. Ring pop. It's a juicy jewel of flavor. Ooh, ring pop. It's a lollipop without a stick. A ring of flavor you can't lick.
In wacky and sour flavors too.
Ooh, ring pop.
The last scene of the season is Sauron, all broody. Galadriel turned me down from making her my queen. Man, this show is absolute shit. So who will be around in 2 to 2.5 years for season 2? How about nobody? All hail the Tolkien fandom. We routed Amazon.